Yep, that's me. Zoom, zoom. I may not look fast there, but that's me doing my speed work, interval training, zone 5 training, pushing ourselves to our maximum effort. At 57 years old, it may not look pretty, but hey, I am here to share my experiences on changing up the interval training with my summer running.
Zone 5 are your intervals. Those just plain hurt.
Yes, yes, they do. I'm so glad you're here with me as we go through this. This is my channel, Lead Your Living, and I am Angela. This summer, even though it may have looked like it in that video, I'm not actually training for a race, but I still wanted some structure for my running. I needed a plan that was grounded in science, that was flexible, and designed for the long haul. It's not about the next race for me. This is about training for lifelong fitness. I want to run for as long as I possibly can. And I needed a plan or I needed some structure to do that. So, after doing a VO2 max test with an exercise physiologist and then a follow up consultation to get a plan that was specific to me, we landed on a summer plan, a 4 run per week plan, with each run having a very specific purpose, but had enough flexibility in it that, you know what, if I wasn't up to 4 runs per week, I could skip one or I could replace one. And so you can see my other videos that explains that process. But every run has a purpose. And the purpose of one of those runs is on speed work. And that's what the video is today, on interval training. Speed work, short, sharp bursts of effort.
And that could be
Yep.
anywhere from like, again, 5, 6 second sprints all the way up to, let's say, 90 seconds to 3 minutes.
Followed by short recovery periods as well. That is what the intervals are all about. And I'm taking you with me, and just for fun, to add a little bit of lightness to it. And because I'm a total nature nerd, as you can see from some of my other videos, I'm referring to the interval training as the hummingbird run. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We'll talk more about the hummingbird analogy as we make our way through the video. I'm sharing some of the pain and some of the learnings with you. I'm in the back end. I'm on the back end of my 50s. And so the interval training is not something that comes easy to me as just a 57-year-old recreational runner. I'm hoping there'll be something in here that will help you with whatever plan and whatever journey you are on with keeping active, with running, whatever it might be. Okay, of course, I hope you watch the entire video, but if this is just turns out not to be a subject that you're interested in, at least skip to the end and watch the last, I think it's probably last 2 minutes or so, which I just share a little lesson that I learned when I was out on a run about why it is so important to keep our bodies moving for longevity and for wellness, regardless of what that movement might look like to you. It doesn't have to be running. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the science behind the buzz. Get it? Buzz, hummingbird, zoom, zoom. These hummingbird runs or these interval training runs, it's not just about zipping around for fun. There is a very specific purpose to it. And these, when we take those high bursts of intensity or short bursts of intensity, followed by periods of recovery, that's actually helping to train our fast twitch muscle fibers. The fast twitch muscle fibers are for generating force very quickly. But one of the things is that they fatigue quickly. And that's why we need specific training for them, especially as we age, regardless of whether you're training for a run or a race or simply just to stay fit to chase little ones around. Maybe you have some grandkids that you're chasing around. One of the things that I loved about having my VO2 max test done and the consultation afterwards with an expert, an exercise physiologist, is that not only do we get the science behind the information, but got such practical information on, okay, so how do you actually start with doing interval training or working interval training into your running routine? Just before we get into those details, here's Dr. Jeff reminding us what VO2 max actually is.
So your
Yeah.
VO2 max, which is what we tested, by definition, is the maximum effort you can hold for about 3 minutes.
So remember, I'm going to show you another little clip from the overall consultation. And again, you can watch that entire video on my channel. But one of the things I just want to point out is remember, his advice is specific to my situation based on my test results, based on what my goals were for this summer about wanting to stay fit, not lose my level of fitness that I recently gained from training for a race. but not being stuck or committed to a really rigid training program. And so the other thing to remember as you're listening to this, if you're just starting out in your running journey, if you're just starting to run, your focus is probably on building endurance. It's not on doing intervals. So again, keep in mind that this information is specific to me. So, okay, let's hear from him about how he suggested I actually get started with the whole interval training or the hummingbird workout.
I would start with is again proper warm up, proper cool down, and all that stuff usually takes place in zone one,
Yep.
right?
Oh, zone one. Okay. Yep.
So if you know like your A skip, B skip, or C skips, that's like high knees, butt kicks kind of
Yep.
thing.
Me again. Those A skips, B skips, C skips, butt kicks, all those things that he refers to for warming up, they can be a little tricky. I love watching videos on how to do them, but this one video that I found, this one channel, sorry, Sherry Hawkins, she's a U.S. Olympian athlete, I think a gold medalist from the U.S. track team. She has some fabulous videos on how to do the A skips, B skips, C skips, and tons of other warm up exercises. And so I'll put a link to her channel down below. And I've watched a lot of demonstrations, and she is by far one of my favorites. So I'll share that in case you are interested. Okay, back to Dr. Jeff.
Is starting with like again 15 to 30 seconds on, if you will, and
Okay.
then adding about like 90 seconds rest. So if you were doing 30 seconds on, 90 seconds off, that's a
Yeah.
1 to 3 work to rest ratio. But your
Okay.
ultimate goal is building towards 3 minutes on
Oh
of,
my.
of
Okay.
VO2 max interval, right?
Okay. Right.
So that's your ultimate goal is to be able to do 3 minutes on and then 3 minutes recovery. 3 minutes on, 3 minutes recovery. That's your 1 to 1 work to rest ratio. And
Okay.
if you feel that 90 seconds recovery just isn't enough, or if 30 seconds of work is too much, just
Yeah.
play with that work to rest ratio. 15 seconds on, maybe 2 minutes off. The idea, though, is that you're not necessarily looking to be completely fresh at the start of the next interval.
And so, but can that be any like just out on regular run? I just time
Yeah.
myself 15 to, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be on the track and doing,
Oh, if you've got
yeah,
access to a track and you want to do a track workout, then that's great, but you can just be doing this in your neighborhood or
right. Okay.
just do it somewhere safe because if
Yeah.
if you like trip or whatever, you don't want to,
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. So now we've had a little bit of the warm up to it. We've had the background, we've had some of the science. Now let's see how it is putting it into practice. No judgment here. Remember, I'm getting up there in my years and I don't move fast, but I'm trying to. So let's see how I do with the sprints and in particular those ratios, figuring out that work to rest ratio. My first attempt with the new plan. And I suppose I'm trying to do 30 seconds in heart zone 5 and then 90 seconds resting. So I've only done one, what I'm calling a sprint, and one, I didn't get my heart rate up to 164 until kind of my time was up. So I'm not sure if I should extend that. Anyway, I'll play with it, but we'll see. Okay, I better get going. My 90 seconds cool down is, I assume I'm supposed to walk. Oh my God, I should have paid more attention. Okay. I'm trying to catch my breath here. I think I did 4, maybe 5 sprints. I'm not really sure, but it was clunky and awkward. First I couldn't get my heart rate up, but then I realized, oh, my watch probably isn't that accurate. That's an exact real-time heart rate. So then I switched more to RPE, rate of perceived effort. And yeah, I think that works because then as the sprint is, I'm almost at the end or I'm feeling like I'm dying, I look at my watch to see where my heart rate is. So I think that method is going to work a bit better. And I am sure, with as sophisticated as these watches are, I'm sure there's a way I can set that up somehow that will time me and say Okay, now interval 1, 30 seconds sprint, and then a time, 90-second recovery, and sprint again, and keep track of them. If you know how to do that, let me know. I don't know if it can do that, but I'm sure it can. 2 kilometers maybe from my house. I'm just gonna do a very slow run back. Okay, in the beginning of the video, I told you you would get a glimpse of some of my insecurities as I showed up at our local community track. Here we go, second attempt. So today I'm going to try, this will be my second attempt at intervals, and I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm actually getting in my car and heading to our little local track. Now, I have no idea if people are there, if there's events, so if they are, I'll just keep on trucking, but I'm going to try these intervals with a little warm up, a little walk around the track, and anyway, we'll see how they go. One of the things I love about running is that there's not a lot of equipment that's required, and I love that I just walk out my door and go. So this feels a little weird, getting in my vehicle, driving to a destination to go for a run. Almost feels like I don't know, a more formal class or something, but I hope there's not people there, because what will they say when they see this old girl showing up? Oh, wait, I'll get out my headband because I brought my orange headband too. So if there's a bunch of young people there, I'll like throw that fancy gear on my head and strut like I know what I'm doing. Like I know what A skips and B skips and C skips are. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay, I'm here. There is not a soul here. So why am I feeling so reluctant to get out of this car and go? I have not been here since my son was on the high school track and field team. That's a long time ago. Yikes, okay. And I also didn't remember, the track is here. It's a dirt track, but there's also 2 ball fields, and the track kind of spans both ball fields. It goes around one ball field and then kind of goes around part of the other one. So I hope I can get through. There must be a gate that opens, but anyway, I'm sitting here trying to channel my inner hummingbird. Okay, just get out and do it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll walk around the track first, just so I can get the lay of the land and also see how far it is. I just assume all tracks are 400 meters, but I don't know that. Okay, here we go. Stop worrying about it. Just get out there, Angela. Don't be such a big baby. I don't know why I'm feeling so reluctant. Okay, going. Okay, here I go. I'm just gonna walk around the track once just to see how far it is. And again, I assume 400 meters. Nobody's here. There are a couple of, I just saw a young worker there, and then I just see someone else pulling up in a work truck, so that'll be a little embarrassing, but what's life without a few embarrassing moments along the way? I don't know, the track's kind of not lumpy, but grooves or something. Well, I guess if it feels too weird on my feet, I can run on the grass beside the track. Maybe what I'll start with is I'll do a couple at 30 seconds running, 60 seconds recovery, and then I'll see if maybe I can put my sprints up to 45 seconds, because I should be able to do that, I think. We'll see. I'm about halfway around the track and it's 200 meters. So yeah, it must be 400 meter track. All right, okay, here goes. Okay, just for the record, I have no idea what that little stomping thing is that I'm doing. Maybe I'm working up to something. Oh, I don't think that's an official type of skip. I'm just out skipping through the day, it looks like. Oh, look at me, I'm getting fancy. There's me trying to do the A skips. Again, don't watch how I do it. Follow that channel that I've linked down below. A little attempt with the B skip. Now remember, this isn't how it's probably supposed to look, but how are we going to learn if we at least don't give it a little try? I can make fun of myself. Don't you be making fun of me. Get out there and give it a try. Okay. Is it a bad sign I'm already huffing? The track was teaching me lots. It didn't teach me how to be a better counter or better with the keeping track of my times and my intervals, though. Okay, I might do one more because I'm not sure if that was 6. I was trying to do 6. Okay. Little I knew, this was actually number 8. I didn't realize that until long after I was home. But hey, it's not about perfection, it's about just getting out there and giving it your best shot. Now I'm just going to do a really slow jog around the track. I actually don't know if I got up to my maximum heart rate. From my VO2 testing, my maximum heart rate is 175. And so I did not reach that in these intervals. I got up to 165, but I felt like it was a strong effort. And I actually did 8 sprints. I got to get better at keeping track of them. It felt at my maximum heart rate. And I'm almost thinking that part of my issue, or not part of my issue, but one of the things I'm learning is when they say maximum effort, I think give it all you got, forgetting that I have to maintain it for 30 seconds. And so I think I got to rethink maximum effort. I'm not thinking, okay, push as hard as you possibly can right now, and change that thought to push as hard as you can to maintain for 30 seconds. I was not able to do, I thought I'd do like 30 seconds of running and 60 seconds of rest. I may have done that for a couple of the intervals, but I think I was pretty much 30 seconds running, 90 seconds rest. I have a long ways to go, but there's nothing I love more than understanding the science behind something and then testing it out on myself. It is one thing to read about this, watch videos on it, and learn about it. It is a whole other level to take it out and try and put it into practice. And so I may think up here I understand. When it comes to the feet hitting the dirt, yeah, I have lots to learn. So that's good. And a very quick look at attempt number 3. So I just finished my set of intervals here, and I'm just trying to do a little bit of nose breathing just to start to regulate my breath. You can see I'm struggling with it. I'm still huffing and puffing pretty good here. Okay, it's very windy. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. Just finished 6 intervals, I think. Maybe only 5. I might have to do one more. But this is my 3rd time or 4th time, I'm not really sure, with intervals. Today, I switched the timing a little bit. I did move it a little bit, and I did 45-second sprints with 1 minute rest periods or recovery periods. And so that's getting closer to 1-to-1. Nowhere near the 3 minutes to 3 minutes, but as far as ratio goes, I'm moving in the right direction. On my cool down run home, and one of the ways I try to know I'm in the right zone is I should be able to completely breathe in and out through my nose and not have to open my mouth if I'm in that zone 1 or 2. So that's what these hand gestures are about. Okay, some key takeaways. It was really clunky. It didn't seem to be going really well, but it's my first time. I need to practice that. My biggest issue was I didn't know how to time, and I didn't know how to keep track of my heart rate. And so the time periods are too short to, I don't think my watch can keep up in that real time. And I'm sure those of you who are more advanced and competitive runners have this all down pat, but I just found it helpful to really start to tune into how I'm feeling and then compare that after I get home with what my heart rate actually said. So I am now really tapping into that whole rate of perceived exertion to help guide my effort that I give during my runs, and in particular for this one that we're talking about, the sprints, as opposed to constantly monitoring my heart rate. I think another takeaway that surprised me is that it was a little easier to do the sprints and intervals on a track. I don't know why, but I think maybe it's just the distance. And I got to know, like, kind of from this distance to this distance should be about 30 seconds. And so I think it is overall easier to do this on a track, which brings me to another key takeaway is when we're starting something new, as I said in the beginning, it feels clunky. And with specific to interval training, you saw my insecurities when I arrived at the track. I felt totally out of my element. And so, a key takeaway is drop your insecurities at the gate. This is about wellness and living our best life. This channel is Lead Your Living. So, drop your insecurities at the gate. Show up with all your jiggly parts and feeling a little insecure and confidently walk on to that track and give it your best effort. So, this one may be a really small takeaway, but it is meaningful. Remember, it may hurt a little. Do it anyway. Like I'm feeling my legs. And this is the little reminder I needed out on a run one day. This is what it's all about. The other thing that I loved about today's run is on my cool down when I was just on a very slow jog home. I saw a lady walking on the side of the road, and she had the walking sticks. And so I stopped and chatted with her, and she was just saying she usually walks with one walking stick and was trying to walk with two, but was finding it hard. Anyway, we had a great little chat, and she has incorporated walking as a big part of her life. And so as we were chatting, I asked her if she minded me asking her age. She is 89. I would have guessed her in her early 70s. And I just thought, oh my gosh, that she is exactly who I needed to meet today, because this whole interest of mine in the getting tested for VO2 max and finding out about my heart zones is really about longevity. It's not about winning races or building personal bests really anymore for me. It's about maintaining a healthy running habit and maintaining it as long as I can. And so seeing this lady out there walking, learning to walk with two walking sticks, anyway, and she put one under her arm and said that she finds one easier than two. Um, I don't know, 89 years old. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. All right, have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Okay, so I just watched part of the video back. I feel like I should explain it. Looks like my hair's not brushed and things are looking a little disheveled, but it is very hot in my house, and I feel like I've just finished a run. So anyway, I just thought I should mention because I've just now taken a look at myself and seeing how frazzled I look. But hey, I look worse when I'm out there running, so I'm gonna leave it as is.